Hey everybody, welcome to the Bold Today Show. I am patent attorney J.D. Houvener, also the owner here at Bold Patents Law Firm. I'm here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon on the East Coast. So come one, come all. We're welcoming entrepreneurs, inventors, people interested in learning more about inventions and patent law. I do want to provide a brief agenda for today. I'm excited to bring on one of our guests, also a client of ours here at the firm. She's brave enough to come on the show with us today. We were just talking before we went live. So I'm very excited to bring her on. A little quick sneak peek, she is in the beauty industry and has a great background. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about with our guest. And for anyone that is brought in or is asked an avvo.com question, I will be answering those here in this session at the end. So in about 10 to 15 minutes. So hang tight. I encourage you to stay with us if you're going to be joining or watching the program after we recorded it. So again, our agenda is to do an interview with our guest. We'll do the avvo questions, and we'll fielding live Q&A throughout the session. Before we jump to our guest session, I want to also offer a free screening session. So if now are you thinking about today and it's the right time to get started? You're not sure if you want to speak with an attorney yet. You've started in the invention process, but you want to see if working with a law firm, if you're at that point, I encourage you to schedule a free screening with one of our advisors. And that's the link to do that right there. It is free. It's a no fee, 15, 20-minute talk. We learn about what you're up to, where you're at in the invention process. And now is the right time for you to meet with one of our patent attorneys. For doing that, for taking action, I'm going to give you a copy of this book that I wrote, Bold Ideas, The Inventor's Guide to Patents. Here's the hard copy, but you're going to get a digital PDF version. It's about 150 pages or so. It's got all the nuts and bolts about what you need to get started, from what's the difference between a patent and a trademark, provisional versus non-provisional, international, patent protection, trade secrets. I talk about a lot of those things. So if it's your first time getting started in this process, the patents is new to you, I believe heartily that education is a very important aspect, and we want to have clients that are informed as we go through this process. So it is much encouraged, and I appreciate all of you who are taking action. And we will, again, like I said before, be featuring live questions and jumping in and taking those first. And I'll be offering that free screening session with the free book today. So check out that link as we move forward in this program. Okay, well, without further ado, I'll bring on our guest. She's been waiting patiently backstage. Danielle, thanks for joining.
Yes, of course. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, and you're having courage to come on. And you are ahead of the game for most inventors I have on the show that are just, for the first time coming on, talking about their invention. You've actually got a company up and running, and you've got a website and a company started. So tell me more about All Natural Glow and where it's currently at.
Yes, so All Natural Glow, I actually launched September 1st, 2020. That's when I first started selling a few products on Amazon. And I was selling hair accessories, satin bonnets, and then eventually hair scrunchies as well. And was actually a really good starting point because it was low cost up front, it was pretty low risk, and it was at Amazon where you have a built-in customer base.
Right.
And then this business has completely funded my invention. So that way I wasn't having to come out of pocket and take from my savings. I was able to fund everything related to the patenting process and prototyping and all of those things related to the business through my existing business. So that was just actually really perfect.
Good for you. That is great.
And it wasn't foresight. It just happened that way.
Okay. You didn't have to, scrounge up savings or, bug friends and family or find an investor. You had enough hustle and entrepreneur, with it to get enough revenue going to afford that investment in your innovation. Very cool. Very cool. And you have an interesting background. We were talking before how you are currently a civil engineer and also running this company as well. Tell me about basically how you do that, first of all, and then how potentially the engineering background supports and is helpful for growing, your own enterprise.
Yeah, so I'm a civil engineer, as you mentioned. I have my bachelor's and master's in civil and environmental engineering, and I currently work for the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts And that is a full-time job. I had to take time off to do the live.
Yeah.
And I have to, it's interesting. I know you're an engineer too. I think with engineering, you often find these type A personalities, and in your training, you're very often trying to solve a problem and figuring out how to improve different things and come up with solutions. And that 100% is woven in all the way through my business. When my first product to my products I'm developing right now, I'm my target customer, and so I'm using products that are out in the market and I'm saying, I don't like this, I don't like that. This could really be improved. And like people have those thoughts all the time. It's like, man, they should have really done this instead.
Hmm.
And I made those into products. And so my motto is actually hair care engineered better. And that's 100% our mission. That's what we try to do. And it's it's really been helpful for sure, my engineering background. But you don't need one, of course. But it's been
Okay.
helpful.
Well, good. Yeah, I think, certainly having that, technical experience, having the background helps you with maybe analytics and help you kind of be more regiment, and ask those questions. But I think you hit the nail on the head with you're a problem solver, right? That's what engineers
Mhm.
do. And you see problems in this specific industry, and you've started to solve the problem for yourself. He said, I want different products. Might as well just open up and help other people too. Um, we have Susan Sudeth. Absolutely. Please ask away. You've got a question, you're welcome to fire away for either Danielle or myself. And we'll just keep chatting here. So if you have got a website up and you've got a product, for sale, now you haven't actually gotten the patent granted yet. So I know some people are new to this process. So I'll walk people through it. So you have done a patent search with us. You've done a provisional patent application. So you're now patent pending, which locks in that all important date. So any inventor that tries to file for a product that's similar to this after you will lose in that priority battle. So while your patent's pending, you're going to market, and a lot of people aren't even yet developing products. And so let's talk about that. How did you go about that? Developing, sourcing, prototyping your product.
Yeah, it was difficult. Of course, it was pretty different from my original products because nothing like it existed. And I didn't want to pay for a 3D render or any of these drawings, like these things that some people may come when they have an invention and go. I was really trying to bootstrap it. So I would reach out to companies through Alibaba, and I was just having conversations, seeing their different capabilities and what they could do. And once I found one that was a good match, I started talking through what I was looking for. And in terms of patent protection, it's not what you should do. I know that now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time. However, I was going to a company that wasn't in this industry. They're making different types of items and they that have electrical elements. Mine has an electrical element. So I wasn't necessarily worried about some of these competitors that would be trying to copycat me right off the bat because they're just completely opposite end of the spectrum. They didn't even know what I was trying to get it made for. So that helped.
Yes. Yes. And just to clarify for anyone that's out there listening is wondering, well, what does she mean by it wasn't the best for the patent process? And the key is that you cannot, disclose publicly or share your invention more than a year before you file. So it really puts you on a timeline. And of course, it puts you at risk to someone else just ripping your idea off without having the filing done first. So yes, that is the ideal. What we recommend normally is to get the filing done and then begin reaching out. Danielle, you're on the hustle. You wanted to get this done and get it out. So you made it work, and I think with limited exposure. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah,
we have a
really
question
went
coming
for
in
it.
from Susan. We'll take a quick. Let's see if it's related to what you're up to, Danielle. Okay, looks like it is a different question. So Susan, what I'll do is when we get done talking with Danielle, I'll put your question up first. So hang in there just a few minutes, okay? She has a cool question about a foreign country for her microentity filing. Okay. So let's talk about your product. Okay, so you have developed something special for hair conditioning, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I have a deep conditioning heat cap and it's battery powered, it's rechargeable, and how you use it for people if they're doing their hair at home, they're washing their hair and they want to make their deep conditioning treatment more impactful, really penetrate their hair strands and maximize all of those nutrients actually going to nourish your hair. They'll often apply indirect heat. The current applications, they have some microwavable heat caps where you just put it in a microwave and it has some sort of filling that will contain heat. And then it'll heat up. Then the heat, of course, naturally dissipates over time. And depending on the filling, it can end up being kind of centered in one part of your head. And then there's some others that you have to plug in. So you have to stay kind of tied down to an electrical outlet. And then in my case, it's completely portable. It's efficient with heating. It has over an hour of heating time. And I say it's ultimate convenience without compromising quality.
I love it. That was quick. That was quick. Now, for someone who's not in this industry, why might you, I guess, what is the state of the art? What is the current solution for this? You know, if this wasn't out there, what would you use in sort of the standard run of the mill, beauty parlor? What would you see? How would you get your hair dry or
If
conditioned?
you went to a beauty parlor, they would put a shower cap on you and they put you under a big hair dryer with like a big dome
Okay.
over your
Yes,
head.
I've seen those. Right. Okay. And you're stuck. You're sitting there for how long?
30 minutes to an hour, especially sometimes
Okay.
depending on how many clients they have. If you're in the salon.
Yeah. Okay. And you're saying that, yeah, some people, okay, they have realized like you, like, okay, I got other things to do. I wouldn't mind walking around. But you're saying there's other solutions. You mentioned microwavable, but they're not
Mhm.
really, it's not like an ongoing heat. And then it's just nothing like what you've got, right? There's no other way
Yes.
to keep it dry. Cool. Very cool. Well, congrats on that. And could you show me again that power button and maybe some of the functionality?
Yeah, so it's one power button for all controls. You can hold it. I just realized the battery isn't actually in it right now because
That's okay.
I give my customers a little a little pack to keep
Ooh,
everything. So you hold the power
little
button
teaser.
down.
Okay.
Yes,
All
of
right.
course. It turns it on, and then you press it. You can press it for 3 different adjustable heats, and then you hold the power button again to turn it off.
I see that. That is easy. So no, like, you don't need a whole keyboard programming knowledge. It's straightforward.
Nope. The battery just goes right here in this little pocket, and then they can plug it in or disconnect it, and then they are all good to go. And of course, branded.
Very nice. And you did this all by yourself, for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
actually even coded my first website by myself. So this
It
is
can be
very
done,
bootstrap.
folks. All
Hmm.
right, all right. And speaking of that website, let me share your site briefly here. Okay, so we're on allnaturalglow.com. This is the right one, right?
Hmm.
Okay, and so kind of take us through kind of where you'd like to see customers if they're the first time coming to your page. What would you want them to see?
Yeah, first they come, of course, they see the Glow Heat Cap featured as soon as they scroll down. Our motto, hair care engineered better, and the Glow Heat Cap. We have a video demonstrating how to use it. And then you can go straight to the listing and it shows all of its features and what makes it different from what's currently out there.
There you go. Excellent. And you do have an Instagram page as well. Yeah, let me just put this website down in the comments so people have that here. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, whoa. All right, and Instagram. There you are. Okay, modeling it. Perfect.
Yes,
So you
and
can
that
call it all
once
natural glow.
again, bootstrap. No problem just putting your face in front of the company.
I appreciate that. Good, very
Mhm.
good. All right. So there's that. There's the handle right there if anyone wants to follow. Inventor of the first rechargeable heat cap. Yes, love that. Okay, perfect. Well, lots of stuff we could talk about. If we do have time at the end, I will want to check in with you on a few other things if we have time. But for now, I just want to thank you for being brave enough to come on. And we have a few questions to get to, so we'll put you backstage. So thank you, Danielle. Okay, Susan, thank you for hanging in. You've got a couple good questions. I love it. So you say I have a micro entity and a utility patent with patent pending, but they said I was not protected in China. I believe it says China, North Korea, and Mexico. USPTO said I would have to go to these countries to file patent protection. That is correct, right? Okay, so if you filed with the US, which I assume that's where your patent pending at, you do have to file into other countries to get protection. So having a filing in the US only provides you protection in the US. So they are correct. And there is a 12-month deadline, okay? And this is kind of one of the issues that can come up if, for example, you're filing on your own, or if it's, maybe you're working with someone who may not be quite as experienced. You've got to make sure you hit that 12-month deadline. So today's August 11th. So if August 11th, 2020 was when you filed your non-provisional, or your first priority application. You must file a foreign filing by August 11th, 2021, okay? So that's today. Now there is another option. Instead of filing direct in those other countries, you can file what's called the Patent Cooperation Treaty, the PCT, and that's basically its acronym for a treaty where, I mean, almost every country you've ever heard of, including China, I don't know about North Korea, but Mexico, have signed on to these treaties, and they say, yep, we will acknowledge the one search done by the U.S. examiner, and we're going to let an additional 18 months go by before you have to select which countries you want to file into. So I know that's a lot. So Susan, what I'll do is I'll provide my contact info if you want to follow up with a specific question. Maybe you're still within that 1 year and you'd like some help getting started. I'll include my email address and a text-only phone number if that is helpful for you. And you also got under the wire with a second question, so I'll pop that one up here as well. Okay, I have an LLC for my business and it drops tomorrow on social media. I'll use Amazon in my case. My product is the sex belt. All right. I went under lift 2 inches, so I would not be in the sex toys section. Okay. My belt was invented over the need for men and women to have more pleasurable sex. It lifts your fupa. Okay, well, there it is. Thank you for sharing that. Congrats on your invention. You know, if you would provide a link, you know, I'm not afraid to let you put that here in the comments. I want to, you know, encourage your participation here. And we do not discriminate. Inventions come in all different sorts. Sex industry is a huge industry, so we can't ignore it. And we have definitely served inventors in that field. So congrats on that. All right, so let's see. I've got a couple Avvo.com questions. Thank you for those who've been waiting. They're all in the area of trademark, okay? So no patent questions came up this week. This one is out of Los Angeles, California. Let's see if we can jump to that. I'll put that in the comments here. All right, here we go. Okay, so the question is, who do I consult about having a mobile application made available outside of the United States? I want to make sure that we're in compliance and handling each element of the business appropriately in this regard. Well, I'm going to close the window here. Get some construction going on next door. All those civil engineers, you know. Okay. Well, so when you're having you know, a mobile app made outside the U.S., there's a major red flag, okay, in that you're contracting and doing business with someone who is going to be more challenging. You know, if there's a breach of contract, let's just say, it'll be more challenging to try to bring them to justice, right? You'll end up having to fight in a foreign jurisdiction. You're under the laws of a different country. And it's just more risky in that there's less control in terms of, the U.S. government is not going to have a whole lot of authority over that other country or the individuals that reside in that country. So, intellectual property standpoint, it worries me for sure when our inventors hire and contract out any work, including mobile application development outside the U.S. But I get that it can be more affordable. So certainly it's an option, and it's a good one for those who are bootstrapping and need to just make it more affordable. I would say that the best thing to do is to have a good contract and just to be very careful with what is disclosed. Okay, and you have to just be careful, with the scope of work being done, limit it, and test out that contractor, make sure they do what they say that they're going to do, and slowly build up that trust like any other business relationship, and eventually allow them more and more information and authority, and hopefully they'll reciprocate with continued performance. So, I know it's kind of general, but that's the best I can do with that question. I should also mention with that, with a mobile application, you should, before hiring and talking with a third party, you should explore that whether it is patentable. Okay, so what you've developed in a software, computer implemented version, if that method or process is novel and you think it's actually the first of its kind and it's performing some benefit or have some functionality that you, like I said, haven't seen before, do your own diligence and confirm that it's new. And then if you still think so, hire a patent attorney, patent law firm to help conduct and confirm that as well. And if so, then you should file a patent application to protect what it does, okay? And before you go speak with a third party, certainly someone overseas, because that party may just run with that idea. And if you haven't protected it, filed it first, you could lose an opportunity to be able to lock down that specific area niche. Okay, let's take one more question, then we'll jump back to our guest here. All right, so this question is a trademark application question. It comes out of Phoenix, Arizona. A long one here. I'll cover it most of my face. Okay, trademarking a property name. I developed some land into a campsite rental property. Now I'm marketing it under a brand name, currently DBA under my real estate LLC. I'm wanting to start pushing more marketing out to get the attraction of campers or renters, and eventually potentially selling other things under the name, like merchandise. Let's just say marshmallows, okay, or like, I don't know, wood. But I'm curious how to trademark a property name and what goods and services it would fall under. I tried looking up different options on the USPTO, but let's see what the next part of the question is. And what goods and services would fall under. I tried looking up on the USPTO, but could not find what seemed to be correct. Any help is appreciated. Okay, yeah, so this is a pretty specific question. And so backing up a little bit, so when you file for trademark protection with the USPTO, you do have to designate what class, okay? And there are international classifications. An important thing to know with respect to registering a mark is that you have to have a distinct, it has to be a unique, right, name in your class. And you can't have the same or similar or confusingly similar name as another company or another brand that already has a registration in that same class. So let's say it's musical instruments, or let's say it's, you know, property management services. If the name is, you know, Barking Coyote campsite, okay, Barking Coyote, and you know, if there's a howling coyote already registered, that might be confusingly similar. You know, coming with a kind of a random example, and so this person is asking about their classifications, and so maybe there's a howling coyote bar, right? You know, about alcoholic beverages or restaurant classification, very different from property management, or even more specifically, campsite, you know, property management. And I don't know if there's a specific classification that goes all the way down to that level of specifying campsite. I'm guessing it's probably just more like property or property services, property management services. So if there's no, you know, howling coyote or whatever the name is you're looking for in that class, then that's what you should go for, to make sure that it's the only one in that area. But you're looking for more of an answer on what exactly we recommend for your name and for what kind of business you're in. And before I give a recommendation here on live, I would probably want to have a discussion about what your company is and what you're going for. It looks like you're trying to do both goods and services. So it could very well be that you have to file two separate classes along with what you're trying to sell. And that's typical, right? If you've got a goods and services mixed type of offering, you have to pay the patent office, trademark office rather, to conduct two separate searches in two different classes. You know, maybe it's, you know, property management, and it's also outdoor equipment, outdoor goods supplier, to make sure there's no confusingly similar name in both of those classes if you want to use the same name, which is what I would imagine you'd want to do in that case. So again, I scroll up, I did provide my email and contact information to kind of go further on that question. So I know we only got to 2 trademark questions today, but I want to bring Danielle back on to ask a few more questions. So if you're still on live, I see we have 3 people live. Ask away. We have a couple more minutes, and we'll try to get to your questions. And otherwise, we'll chat more with Danielle. Hey there, how was it backstage?
It was good. I actually put the battery in the cap.
Hey, all right. Well, shine it on. Let's see what you got. What does it do? Oh, you have different colors. Okay.
Yes, for low, medium, and high. That's high. Low, medium, high.
Very good.
Turn it right off.
I like it. Okay, thank you for showing us that. So I was wanting to ask this question, you know, that's why I came back. So you've got the product obviously in hand, and is it true you're starting to sell?
Yes. So we just launched on July 19th, actually,
All right.
and on our website, and it's also available on our Instagram shop. And I just kind of started pubbing, I'm still growing my website, still growing my social media presence and everything. And I've already been making sales. So it's been
All
really
right.
positive. Yeah.
Very good. And so talk to me about what you're planning to do on the marketing and the fulfillment side and what you're hoping that's going to look like.
Yeah, so right now I use Amazon multi-channel fulfillment for to
Okay.
fulfill my website products as well. That way I can have my inventory streamlined because I do still currently sell on Amazon. Not my heat cap, but my other products.
Right.
And
Okay.
yeah, and so I've been kind of promoting one of my videos on Instagram, and so that's what's really led to some of my sales as well as Google Ads. And this
Okay.
is pretty much with no knowledge or experience. I mean, this is kind of just like, well, let's see how this goes, and they're already converting. So makes me feel very promising once I actually get, you know, some knowledge and experience in marketing and Facebook ads and all of that, or hire someone to do it.
That is
That
awesome.
it'll be really good to grow.
Well, cool. My wife, Mai, is watching. She says, Danielle, you're such an inspiration. Our daughter is watching in awe. Girl boss. So
Oh, yay.
good job.
Love the women. Yes. Women
Right
supporting
on.
women.
For sure. Okay. Well, we could talk for a while. So promoting yourself, you're doing on your own marketing. I guess just to wrap things up, you've got the non-provisional ready. What is next for your company? What would you love to see things go in the next year? Where do you see yourself and your company going?
Well, I'd love to grow a little empire with All Natural Glow.
All
I have no
right.
intention of quitting my job anytime soon. I think I'm going to pursue the dual career for a while. It's
Okay.
been too long in school to just let it go now.
Okay.
So, but right now it's been really easy. Well, not easy. It's been manageable to do both, and that's my plan. Just keep growing it until the wheels fall off.
All right. All right. Very good. Well, we'll have to have you back on when and if the wheels do fall off and you decide to go on your own. If that happens, it doesn't have to. But thank you for sharing your journey with us. So we'll have you on again later. Again, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to wrap this show up. So again, we're at boldip.com, and we're Bold Patents. We're here every Wednesday with you, doing live Q&A, bringing on guests if we have them, and talking about patent law. So hope to see you soon next week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific and noon on the East Coast. I'm your host, JD Houvener at Bold Patents. Go big, go bold.